Jewish Congress dedicated himself to renewing the world's commitment to Holocaust remembrance and the fight against anti-Semitism. In 2005, Dr. Cantor, together with Yad Vashem, established the World Holocaust Forum to raise awareness and fight hate and racism.
Ladies and gentlemen, only 3 years passed after Kristallnacht and Wannsee meeting took place, and the broken windows and burned synagogues were converted to death camps for the humanity. We know just now that the historical process are accelerating. Today, only 60 years after the tragedy, we see again criminal tolerance to intolerance. We cannot stay aside. It's time to act.
What are we doing to prevent this from happening again?
Plus d'1,5 million d'êtres humains avaient été assassinés.
Since its founding, 4 forums have been held, each aimed at engraving on the world's consciousness our sacred duty to remember the past and our collective responsibility to apply history's lessons to the present and future. The forums brought together world leaders and distinguished officials from 60 countries. By raising awareness globally, the issue of anti-Semitism and hate is now recognized as an urgent issue.
Мы обязаны в один голос заявить нынешнему и будущим поколениям. Никто не может и не имеет права быть равнодушным к антисемитизму, национализму, ксенофобии, расовой или религиозной нетерпимости.
It is sad and painful when this memory of Shoah, memory of the Second World War, hours or days, is being questioned.
We are reminded that anti-Semitism may begin with words, but rarely stops with words. And the message of intolerance and hatred must be opposed before it turns into acts of horror.
We are strong, we have power, we have influence, and this obliges us with our power to stand up when the evil is appearing, to do it every day in our parliaments, in our daily life, on the streets. We must stand up and say, not with us.
The perpetrators of that crime tried to annihilate the entire Jewish people, but they failed. Because 65 years ago today, when the gates flew open, you were still standing.
75 years have passed since the concentration camps were liberated by the Allied forces. Remembering the past is our duty, but it's not enough. It is our responsibility to secure the future generations of mankind.
Your Majesties, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, dear Holocaust survivors, distinguished guests, Shalom, and welcome to the 5th World Holocaust Forum, Remembering the Holocaust, Fighting Anti-Semitism. This historic gathering on the Mount of Remembrance in Jerusalem is organized by the World Holocaust Forum Foundation, together with Yad Vashem, under the auspices of the President of the State of Israel, His Excellency, Mr. Reuven Rivlin. The Shoah, Holocaust, was the systematic murder of 6 million Jewish children, women, and men by the Nazis and their collaborators. Motivated by their extreme racist anti-Semitic ideology, the Nazis and their collaborators sought to exterminate the entire Jewish people, to annihilate their culture and heritage, and to cruelly persecute other groups. It is particularly meaningful that this event is taking place at Yad Vashem, the World Holocaust Remembrance Center in Jerusalem. We gather here to honor the survivors, remember the victims, and to gain insights from their stories that are significant and relevant for our present and our future. We also recall the remarkable legacy of Jewish resistance during the Holocaust. Jews fought heroically under impossible circumstances. They retained their dignity through extraordinary daily attempts to maintain family and communal ties and observe sacred traditions. It is my honor to invite His Excellency Mr. Reuven Ruvi Rivlin, President of the State of Israel, to deliver opening remarks.
Dear Holocaust survivors, Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Prime Minister, heads and President of Parliaments, representatives of many delegations who came to us, distinguished guests, and all my friends. And I have so many good friends because Israel has so many good friends. Welcome. Welcome to Jerusalem. Yesterday we talked in English, and today here from the heights of Yad Vashem, next to the Herzl Mountain, I would like to express my words in Hebrew, and you have a direct translation. So if you are ready with a direct translation, I'll start. ב-27 בינואר 1945 נפתחו שערי הגיהנום. אושוויץ, המפעל הגדול ביותר בתולדות האנושות להשמדת עם, שוחרר. הזוועה שהתגלתה לעיני חיילי הצבא האדום שנכנסו למחנה הייתה בלתי נתפסת. טוראי זינובי טולקצ'וב, יהודי, אומן וחייל בצבא האדום, תיאר את שראו עיניו, וכך הוא כתב: האדמה נאנחת בקולותיהם של הקורבנות. לא יכולתי לקרוע את עצמי מאותה חלקת אדמה מקוללת והתהום האנושית הנוראה. כל גופי הזדעזע בהתייפחות איטית. כך כתב. בשטח המחנה היו מוטלות גוויות אדם. אלפי אנשים, חולים וגוססים. כן, בהם ילדים. הרבה ילדים. שלדים ערומים למחצה, מוזלמנים, המתים החיים. 1,600,000 בני אדם היו באושוויץ. קרוב ל1.5 מהם יהודים. הם כולם נשחטו. 1,600,000 בני אדם, מהם 1.5 יהודים. בעיפרון, על דף נייר של מחנה אושוויץ, כתב טוראי טולקצ'צוב, וכך כתב וחזר וכתב, וחזר וכתב: למען אזכור, למען לא אשכח, למען אזכור, למען לא אשכח, למען אזכור, למען לא אשכח. גם אנחנו עומדים כאן היום, מלכים, מנהיגים, ראשי מדינות, בבית יד ושם בירושלים, למען נזכור, למען לא נשכח. בשם העם היהודי וכנשיא מדינת ישראל, אני מודה לכם מעומק הלב שהגעתם לכאן. תודה על הסולידריות שלכם, סולידריות עם העם היהודי. תודה על המחויבות שלכם, המחויבות שלכם לזיכרון השואה. תודה על המחויבות שלכם לאזרחי העולם, המאמינים בחירות ובכבוד האדם. בסוף נובמבר 1943 נפגשו לראשונה בטהרן שלושת מנהיגי המעצמות שניהלו את המלחמה בגרמניה ובמדינות הציר. זו לא הייתה כלל ועיקר פגישה בין ידידים. זו הייתה פגישה מלאת חשדנות בין מנהיגים שתהום של מחלוקת פעורה ביניהם. אבל שלושת המנהיגים האלה בחרו כי היו מוכרחים לבחור. הם בחרו להתעלות מעל המחלוקת ביניהם לטובת מטרה נעלה אחת: הכנעתו של הפשיזם, הכנעתה של גרמניה הנאצית. הייתה זאת ברית למען האנושות, ברית למען האנושיות. עבור מיליוני בני אדם שלי ובני העם שלי שהושמדו בשואה, ועבור עשרות מיליוני הנרצחים וקורבנות מלחמת העולם השנייה, בעלות הברית בחרו מאוחר מדי. לצד זאת, הן הצליחו לעמוד מול המפלצת הנאצית ולומר עד כאן. בסופו של יום, החירות, כבוד האדם והברית למען החיים ניצחו במלחמת העולם השנייה. וזה לא מובן מאליו. מה היה קורה בעולם שבו בעלות הברית לא היו מתאחדות חלילה? בעולם שבו תורת הגזע היא התורה השלטת. אפשר רק לדמיין. אנחנו מציינים כאן היום, יקיריי, יקירותיי, גם את היכולת שהייתה לקהילה הבינלאומית אז להתאחד, לפעול למען מטרה משותפת, ואת החובה וההכרח של הקהילה הבינלאומית היום להמשיך לפעול יחד על בסיס הערכים המשותפים. אל מול האנטישמיות והגזענות, אל מול כוחות רדיקליים שמפיצים כאוס וחורבן, שנאה ופחד, עלינו לעמוד יחד, כולנו יחד, כחומה בצורה לכבוד האדם, לכבוד האנושיות. בתום מלחמת העולם השנייה החל מה שמכונה עידן האחריות. בצל הטראומה והחרדה מזוועות השואה ומנוראות המלחמה, בחרו המדינות לנהוג באחריות. הדמוקרטיות הלאומיות הגיבו מאז והניבו פירות מדהימים לאנושות. שחרור, השכלה, מיגור מחלות קטלניות. אסור לנו לראות בדמוקרטיה דבר מובן מאליו. דמוקרטיה היא לא דבר מובן מאליו. אנחנו הולכים ומתרחקים מזיכרון ההרס והחורבן של השואה ומלחמת העולם השנייה, אבל אנחנו מוכרחים לזכור. גם היום, אורחינו, יקירינו, מנהיגי העולם כולו, אנחנו זקוקים לאחריות. We need responsibility. מכובדיי, העם היהודי הוא עם זוכר. אנחנו זוכרים לא מתוך תחושת עליונות. אנחנו זוכרים לא כדי להתבוסס בזיכרון הזוועה או בתחושת צדק עצמי. אנחנו זוכרים כי אנחנו מבינים שאם לא זוכרים, ההיסטוריה חוזרת. לא רק בני אדם עלו בכבשן במשרפות אושוויץ. כבוד האדם, החירות, סולידריות אנושית, כל אלה עלו בעשן המשרפות באושוויץ. גרמניה הנאצית ניסתה להשמיד את העם היהודי מתוך תפיסה של גאולת העולם מן היהודים. אבל אגב כך, תורת הגזע הנאצית עלתה בחייהם של למעלה מ-66 מיליון, 6 מיליון בני אדם ובנות אדם. שלא נתבלבל, אנטישמיות לא נעצרת ביהודים. אנטישמיות וגזענות הן מחלה ממארת שהורסת ומפרקת חברות ומדינות מבפנים, ואף חברה ואף דמוקרטיה לא חסינה מפניהם. גבירותיי, מורותיי ורבותיי, מכובדיי כולם, מדינת ישראל היא איננה פיצוי על השואה. ישראל קמה לא כדי לפצות את בני ישראל על מאורעות השואה. היא קמה כי היא הבית שלנו, היא הבית של העם היהודי, היא המולדת של העם היהודי. ממנה הגענו ואליה שבנו אחרי 2000 שנות גלות. ישראל היא דמוקרטיה חזקה. דמוקרטיה חזקה חברה גאה במשפחות העמים. לא אומה שמחכה לישועה, אלא מדינה שמצפה לשותפות. מדינה שדורשת שותפות. שותפות מלאה במאבק בגזענות, באנטישמיות הישנה חדשה, שמתפרצת היום בצורה מדאיגה, בדמות תפיסות של עליונות, טהרנות לאומית ושנאת זרים, שמחלחלת ללב ההנהגה וגובה מחיר היום בחיי אדם. האנטישמיות היא מחלה כרונית. היא מגיעה מימין ומשמאל, לובשת ופושטת צורה במהלך ההיסטוריה. האנטישמיות לא השתנתה, אבל כן, אנחנו השתננו. מדינת ישראל איננה קורבן. לעולם נגן על עצמנו בעצמנו, וכמדינתו של העם היהודי היא לעולם תהיה ערבה לקהילה היהודית בתפוצות, לשלומן ולביטחונן. מדינת ישראל היא חלק בלתי נפרד מהקהילה הבינלאומית, החותרת יחד להתפתחות אנושית ומדעית, לחיזוק ערכים דמוקרטיים ברחבי העולם כולו, לבלימה של כוחות רדיקליים שזורעים טרור, שכול והרס, שמבקשים לאיים על כל אזרחי העולם, כל אותם אזרחים בעולם המאמינים בחופש. כך נהגנו וכך נמשיך לנהוג. אני מודה שוב לכולכם, מנהיגים ומנהיגות, מנהיגות ומנהיגים, שותפי אמת שהגעתם לכאן, ובשם העם בישראל, בשם ממשלת ישראל, בשם כנסת ישראל, בשם החוק בישראל, בשם צבא ההגנה לישראל, אני מודה לכם שהגעתם לכאן. אנחנו מודים לכם על המחויבות שלכם לביטחון הקהילות היהודיות, בייחוד בימים קשים אלה. אנחנו מודים לכל המדינות שכבר אימצו את הגדרת IHRA לאנטישמיות, הגדרה שמקיפה את הצורות השונות של האנטישמיות היום, וקוראים לכל מדינות העולם לאמץ אותה. הגדרה זאת משמשת כלי משמעותי במאבק באנטישמיות, הן במישור החינוכי והציבורי והן במישור האכיפתי. יחד כולנו נמשיך להיאבק באנטישמיות, בגזענות, בשנאה לשמה. ניאבק בהכחשת השואה, ניאבק בהשכחת השואה, נמשיך לחנך את בנותינו ובנינו לזכור ולחקור כדי להבטיח שההיסטוריה לא תחזור על עצמה. עידן האחריות של כולנו, היושבים כאן, לא תם. יקירותיי ויקיריי, שורדי השואה הנמצאים כאן איתנו. אתם הנס שלנו. בתעצומות הנפש שלכם, ואני ראיתי אתכם כילד מגיעים לארץ, בניתם בית ונטעתם עץ והקמתם משפחות חדשות, ובגבורתכם הבטחתם לנו את החירות שלנו במדינה יהודית ודמוקרטית, דמוקרטית ויהודית בלשון אחת. לא תהיה מדינה יהודית שלא תהיה דמוקרטית, כי אנחנו היהודים לא יכולים לחיות אלא במדינה דמוקרטית. וכך נמשיך. אהבת האדם שלכם, אהבת ישראל שלכם, הן המצפן שלאורו נלך תמיד. יהי זכרם של אחינו ואחיותינו קורבנות השואה והלוחמים במערכה נגד הנאצים, ובתוכם חסידי אומות העולם הנמצאים רבים או צאצאיהם במשפחות רבות שאתם נשיאים, ראשי ממשלות ומנהיגים בארצותיכם. ואנחנו יודעים שהם כולם חקוקים על לוח ליבנו. תודה מקרב לב על השותפות שאתם מפגינים בזיכרון השואה וברצון המשותף להתמודד ולהכניע את הגזענות, את האנטישמיות ואת שנאת החינם. תודה רבה.
Thank you, President Rivlin. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, is now entering the hall. It is now my honor to invite His Excellency, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of the State of Israel, to deliver his remarks.
מכובדי נשיא מדינת ישראל, ראובן ריבלין, ברכות על ייזום הכנס החשוב הזה. אחיי ואחיותיי ניצולי השואה, מכובדיי חסידי אומות העולם, the righteous among the nations who risked not only their own lives, but the lives of their families to save Jews during the Holocaust. The trees on this hallowed ground of Yad Vashem are a testament to their remarkable, extraordinary courage. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, presidents, Mr. Vice President, prime ministers, and the many distinguished guests and dignitaries assembled here. Your presence in Jerusalem honors the memory of the 6 million victims of the Holocaust. Israel and the Jewish people, thank you. אושוויץ וירושלים, תהום ופסגה. אושוויץ ההשמדה, ירושלים התקומה. אושוויץ השעבוד, ירושלים החירות. אושוויץ המוות, ירושלים החיים. לפני 75 שנים יצא עמנו, העם היהודי, מגיא ההריגה הגדול בתולדות האנושות. הניצולים הם אינם שוכחים דבר. את חוסר האונים, את הסבל האינסופי, את הלהבות והעשן, את השכול והאובדן. בד בבד הם זוכרים בהכרת תודה עמוקה את יום השחרור, את כניסת הצבא האדום לאושוויץ, את ההקרבה העצומה של בעלות הברית, של החיילים והעמים כאחד. אני בא לכאן עם הנשיא ריבלין והנשיא פוטין מטקס מרגש של חנוכת אנדרטה לזכר חללי המצור על לנינגרד. וזוהי דוגמה אחת למחיר הבלתי נתפס של הניצחון על הנאצים. אבל דווקא ביום הזה חייבים לומר, בשביל 6 מיליון בני עמנו, ביניהם 1.5 מיליון ילדים, שערי הגיהנום נפרצו מאוחר מדי. ולכן ביסוד התקומה של מדינת ישראל מונח ציווי אחד מרכזי: לא תהיה שואה נוספת. כראש ממשלת ישראל, זוהי המחויבות העליונה שלי. Ladies and gentlemen, Israel is eternally grateful to the immense sacrifice that was made by the Allies, by the peoples and the soldiers, to defeat the Nazis and save our common civilization. Without that sacrifice, there would be no survivors today. Yet we also remember that some 80 years ago, when the Jewish people faced annihilation, the world largely turned its back on us, leaving us to the most bitter of fates. For many, Auschwitz is the ultimate symbol of evil. It is certainly that. The tattooed arms of those who passed under its infamous gates, the piles of shoes and eyeglasses seized from the dispossessed in their final moments, the gas chambers in crematoria that turned millions of people into ash. All these bear witness to the horrific depths to which humanity can sink. But for the Jewish people, Auschwitz is more than the ultimate symbol of evil. It is also the ultimate symbol of Jewish powerlessness. It is the culmination of what can happen when our people have no voice, no land, no shield. Today, we have a voice, we have a land, and we have a shield. Today, our voice is heard in the White House and in the Kremlin, in the halls of the United Nations and the American Congress, in London, Paris, and Berlin, and in countless capitals around the world, many of them represented here by you. Today, we have a land, our ancient homeland, which we brought back to life, to which we ingathered the exiles of our people, and in which we built an advanced and powerful state. And today, we have a shield, and what a shield it is. Time after time, the strength of our arms, the courage of our soldiers, and the spirit of our people have prevailed against those who sought to destroy us. Our hand is extended in peace to all our neighbors, and a growing number of them are seizing it to build with Israel bridges of hope and reconciliation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jewish people have learned the lessons of the Holocaust, always to take seriously the threats of those who seek our destruction, to confront threats when they are small, and above all, even though we deeply, deeply appreciate the great support of our friends, to always have the power to defend ourselves by ourselves. We have learned that Israel must always remain the master of its fate. The Jewish state has learned the lessons of the Holocaust, as the world learned the lessons of the Holocaust. There are some signs of hope, and this extraordinary gathering is one of them. Today, the dangers of racism, hateful ideologies, and anti-Semitism are better understood. Many recognize a simple truth, that what starts with the hatred of the Jews doesn't end with the Jews. Represented here today are governments that understand that confronting anti-Semitism in all its forms protects their societies as well. And Israel deeply appreciates this. We also appreciate, as many understand, as President Macron said yesterday, that anti-Zionism is merely the latest form of anti-Semitism. These are all real signs of hope and understanding and cognizance of how to protect our civilization and our world. And yet I am concerned. I'm concerned that we have yet to see a unified and resolute stance against the most anti-Semitic regime on the planet, a regime that openly seeks to develop nuclear weapons and annihilate the one and only Jewish state. Israel salutes President Trump and Vice President Pence for confronting the tyrants of Tehran that subjugate their own people. The tyrants of Tehran that subjugate their own people and threaten the peace and security of the entire world. They threaten the peace and security of everyone in the Middle East and everyone beyond. I call on all governments to join the vital effort of confronting Iran. In any case, I wish to assure again our people and all our friends, Israel will do whatever it must do to defend our state, defend our people, and defend the Jewish future. גבירותיי ורבותיי, כראש ממשלת ישראל, אני מתחייב שהמילים לעולם לא עוד לא יהיו סיסמה ריקה מתוכן, אלא ציווי מתמיד לפעולה. עם ציווי זה נמשיך את מסע התקומה המופלא של עמנו, שיצא מבקעת העצמות היבשות, מעצמות לעצמאות ומעצמאות לעוצמה, מאושוויץ לירושלים, מחושך לאור, כדבר הנביא ישעיהו, העם ההולכים בחושך ראו אור גדול. תודה רבה לכם.
Thank you, Prime Minister Netanyahu. It is my honor to invite the founder and president of the World Holocaust Forum Foundation and president of the European Jewish Congress, Dr. Moshe Kantor, to deliver his remarks.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and dear Holocaust survivors. I would like to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to President Rivlin, who 2 years ago strongly supported the idea to lead the World Holocaust Forum in Jerusalem under the special partnership of Yad Vashem and European Jewish Congress. I would like to address here today just 3 points. Number one, why is anti-Semitism a threat to humanity and not only for Jewish people? Number two, what is the situation today of anti-Semitism and especially for European Jews? And number three, what are the practical steps that must be taken to stop this threat? When granting equal rights to the Jews of France, Napoleon Bonaparte said, "The national attitude towards Jews is the barometer of society's civilization." And why is that? Historically, Jews were always among the most loyal citizens of their countries and did their best to integrate and to become pillars of society in all walks of life. Those who wanted to dismantle the fabric of society, extremists from both right and left, the Jews were always a symbol of society's foundations. Rejection of the Jews was a rejection of the world order. They were always the first target, but by no means the last. The Nazis erased 1/3 of Jewish people, 6 million. But in total, more than 60 million people were killed during the Second World War, and the world just stopped at the gates of destruction. If extremists are not stopped at the gates of anti-Semitism, they will eventually take over executive power in their states. And what is the situation today? Who could imagine that just 75 years after the Holocaust, Jews would again be afraid to walk the streets of Europe wearing Jewish symbols? Who would have imagined that synagogues would be attacked again and cemeteries desecrated and even destroyed on a regular basis? As president of the European Jewish Congress, I can only offer you a picture of communities hiding behind high fences and thick security doors. More than 80% of them feel unsafe in Europe today, while more than 40% are considering leaving Europe entirely, and in recent years, 3% have done so annually. If we think about this figure for a moment, it means that at this rate, in only 30 years, there could be no Jews in Europe. What must be done? Firstly, we must educate about the Holocaust and about the dangers of anti-Semitism, racism, and xenophobia, and particularly from the very early age. Secondly, we must introduce meaningful legislation. Finally, thirdly, fully enforce it. In this regard, there is so much that we can learn from one another. For example, Germany adopted a law 2 years ago against online hate speech, addressing one of the most powerful platforms that anti-Semitism and racism today, the internet. The United States has recently addressed the growing anti-Semitism on university campuses with an executive order which permits restricting of federal funds for universities that do not combat anti-Semitism. France passed legislation against boycotts of people and products based on nationality, addressing the new type of anti-Semitism which targets the Jewish state. Just a few weeks ago, they passed a resolution acknowledging that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Great Britain is a model of how effectively to respond to anti-Semitism. It created a task force combined of law enforcement agencies, legal institutions, and civil society organizations to effectively coordinate and act against anti-Semitism. And Russia, where we find maybe the lowest rates of anti-Semitism due to a very uncompromising long-term policy towards anti-Semitism. And anti-Semitic incidents are treated with maximum severity, therefore practically eliminating anti-Semitism in the public arena. These 5 positive examples of strong leadership should be common all over Europe and all over the world. So, to resume, we have to equate legally and practically the words and actions of anti-Semitism to the words and actions of extremism and even terrorism. Otherwise, it will be too late. When extremism takes over executive power country by country, which means your power and our mutual future. We are together today, united in our words and in our belief for a future free from anti-Semitism, racism, and xenophobia. Together, we will plant the seeds of trust and belief so that our daily prayers for salvation will be answered. I thank each and every one of you for being here, for your dedication, belief, and commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cantor. We are honored to have with us here an international philharmonic orchestra made up of musicians from Russia, France, Germany, Israel, Poland, and the United States. This orchestra is led by artist for peace, Maestro Vladimir Spivakov. It will now perform the piece Evening Prayer, Last Night in the Ghetto, from the symphony Yellow Stars, composed by Isaac Schwartz. The Allied nations came together in order to defeat Nazi Germany and its collaborators. Their joint efforts and unity of purpose saved the world from Nazi evil. The Red Army bravely and resolutely led the defeat of the Nazis on the Eastern Front, and together with its allies, freed Europe from the Nazi grip. Soviet troops liberated Majdanek, Auschwitz-Birkenau, and other Nazi camps. It is my honor to invite His Excellency, Mr. Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, to deliver his remarks.
Уважаемый господин президент, уважаемый господин премьер-министр, коллеги, друзья, дамы и господа. Сегодня на Международном форуме, посвященном памяти жертв Холокоста, нас объединила общая ответственность. Долг перед прошлым и перед будущим. Мы скорбим обо всех жертвах нацизма, и в их числе 6 миллионов евреев, замученных в гетто и концлагерях, зверски убитых в ходе карательных операций. Из них 40% – это граждане бывшего Советского Союза. Поэтому Холокост был и останется для нас глубокой раной. Трагедия, о которой мы будем помнить всегда. Перед поездкой в Иерусалим познакомился с подлинными документами, отчетами офицеров Красной Армии после освобождения Освенцима. Должен вам сказать, уважаемые коллеги, читать эти военные сводки, документы, где в деталях рассказано, как был устроен лагерь, как действовала машина хладнокровного уничтожения людей, очень сложно, невыносимо. Многие из них написаны от руки солдатами и офицерами Красной Армии. На второй, третий день после освобождения узников. И передают тот шок, который испытали солдаты и офицеры Красной Армии от увиденного там, от свидетельств, которые вызывали боль, негодование и сострадание. Маршал Красной Армии Конев, командующий тогда военной операцией по взятию густонаселенного Селезского промышленного района Германии, использовал тактику максимального спасения мирных жителей и, получив донесение о творившихся в Освенциме зверствах, запретил сам себе даже видеть этот лагерь. Позже он написал в своих мемуарах: был тогда не вправе потерять душевные силы, допустить, чтобы справедливое чувство мщения не ослепило его при проведении военных операций и не вызвало бы дополнительных страданий и жертв среди мирного населения Германии. 27 января исполнится 75 лет со дня освобождения Освенцима. В этом аду, куда сгоняли людей из разных стран для истязания, чудовищных экспериментов и массового истребления, погибли сотни и сотни тысяч людей разных национальностей. Среди них более половины – это евреи. Преступления, совершенные нацистами, их обдуманное, спланированное, как они говорили, окончательное решение еврейского вопроса – это, уважаемые коллеги, одна из самых черных и позорных страниц новейшей мировой истории. Но не забудем и о том, что у этого преступления были и соучастники, пособники. В жестокости они зачастую превосходили своих хозяев. Фабрики смерти, концлагеря обслуживали не только нацисты, но и их пособники во многих странах Европы. На оккупированных территориях Советского Союза, где орудовали эти бандиты, было убито наибольшее количество евреев. Так, на Украине погибло порядка 1,4 миллиона евреев. В Литве уничтожено 220 тысяч человек. Это, обращаю на это ваше внимание, дорогие друзья, Это 95% довоенного еврейского населения этой страны. В Латвии 77 тысяч и так далее. Холокост пережили лишь несколько сотен латышских евреев. Холокост – это целенаправленное уничтожение людей. Но надо помнить, что нацисты готовили такую же участь и многим другим народам. Недочеловеками были объявлены и русские, и белорусы, и украинцы, поляки, представители многих других национальностей. Их родная земля должна была служить жизненным пространством для нацистов, обеспечив им сытое существование. А славянским и другим народам была уготована участь либо быть уничтоженными, либо стать бесправными рабами, без своей культуры, исторической памяти, без языка. Тогда, в 1945-м, конец варварским планам положил прежде всего советский народ. Он, как уже было здесь только что сказано, отстоял и свое отечество, и принес освобождение от нацизма в Европе. Мы заплатили за это такой ценой, которая не снилась раньше в самых страшных снах ни одному народу. 27 миллионов погибших. Мы никогда этого не забудем. Память о Холокосте станет уроком и предостережением только в том случае, если она будет полной, без изъятий и умолчаний. К сожалению, сегодня память о войне и ее уроки, наследие, все чаще становятся объектом политической, сиюминутной, текущей конъюнктуры. Это абсолютно недопустимо. А долг современных и будущих политиков, государственных и общественных деятелей защищать доброе имя живых и павших героев, мирных жителей, жертв нацистов и их пособников. Для этого важно использовать все возможности – информационные, политические, культурные, авторитет и влияние наших стран в мире. Уверен, что все, кто присутствует здесь, в этом зале, на форуме, разделяют такие озабоченности и готовы отстаивать вместе с нами правду и справедливость. И мы несем все ответственность за то, чтобы никогда не повторились страшные трагедии прошедшей войны, чтобы будущие поколения помнили об ужасе Холокоста и о лагерях смерти, о блокадном Ленинграде. Пример только что сказал Нетаньяху, что мы сегодня открыли памятник здесь, в Иерусалиме, жертвам блокады Ленинграда, о Бабьем Яре, о сожженной Хатыне, о том, что надо быть бдительными и не пропустить, не проглядеть, когда появляются первые ростки ненависти, шовинизма, антисемитизма, когда исподволь начинают потакать ксенофобии и другим проявлениям подобного рода. Забвение прошлого, разобщенность перед лицом угроз могут обернуться страшными последствиями. У нас должно быть мужество не только прямо сказать об этом, но и сделать все, чтобы защитить и отстоять мир. Пример, на мой взгляд, могут и должны подать страны-основательницы Организации Объединенных Наций. 5 держав, которые несут особую ответственность за сохранение цивилизации. Мы обсуждали с некоторыми коллегами и, насколько я понимаю, в целом увидели положительную реакцию. Провести встречу глав государств, постоянных членов Совета Безопасности ООН, России, Китая, США, Франции и Великобритании. В любой стране, в любой точке мира, где это будет удобно коллегам. Россия готова к такому серьезному разговору. Мы намерены, не откладывая, направить соответствующие послания лидерам «пятерки». Перед нами много задач. Одну из них мы совсем недавно обсуждали в Берлине по инициативе канцлера Федеративной Республики госпожи Меркель. Это Ливия. Но и нам предстоит в Совете Безопасности еще вернуться к этому вопросу и принять соответствующую резолюцию. Но много и других проблем. Проведение такой встречи именно в этом, 2020 году, считаю важным и символичным. Ведь мы отмечаем 75 лет окончания Второй мировой войны и основания Организации Объединенных Наций. Саммит государств, которые внесли главный вклад в разгром агрессора, в создание системы послевоенного мироустройства, сыграл бы огромную роль в поиске коллективных ответов на современные вызовы и угрозы. И, конечно, продемонстрировал бы нашу общую верность духу союзничества, исторической памяти, тем высоким идеалам и ценностям, за которые плечом к плечу сражались наши предки, наши деды, наши отцы. И в заключение хочу поблагодарить израильских коллег за теплый, очень радушный прием здесь, в Иерусалиме, пожелать участникам конференции и, конечно, всем гражданам Израиля мира, благополучия, всего самого доброго. Благодарю вас.
Thank you, President Putin. The entry of the United States into the war was critical in the Allies' fight against Nazi Germany and the other Axis powers, liberating Western Europe and ensuring the Allies' eventual victory. American soldiers freed Buchenwald, Dachau, and other Nazi concentration camps. It is my honor to invite His Excellency, Mr. Mike Pence, Vice President of the United States of America, to deliver his remarks.
President Rivlin, Prime Minister Netanyahu, Your Majesties, Presidents, Excellencies, honored survivors, and distinguished guests. It is deeply humbling for me to stand before you today on behalf of the American people as we mark the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. On this occasion, here on Mount Herzl, we gather to fulfill a solemn obligation, an obligation of remembrance, to never allow the memory of those who died in the Holocaust to be forgotten by anyone, anywhere in the world. The word remember appears no fewer than 169 times in the Hebrew Bible. For memory is the constant obligation of all generations. And today, we pause to remember what President Donald Trump rightly called the dark stain on human history, the greatest evil ever perpetuated by man against man in the long catalog of human crime. The faces of 1.5 million children reduced to smoke under a silent sky for the crime of having a single Jewish grandparent. The night Elie Wiesel, called 7 times sealed, consumed the faith of so many then and challenges the faith of so many still. Today we remember what happens when the powerless cry for help and the powerful refuse to answer. The town's name was Oswiecim. As part of their plan to destroy the very existence of Polish culture, the Nazis gave Polish towns German names, and this one they called Auschwitz. When soldiers opened the gates of Auschwitz on January 27, 1945, they found 7,000 half-starved, half-naked prisoners, hundreds of boxes of camp records that documented the greatest mass murder in history. Before the war was over, in its 5 years of existence, more than 1.1 million men, women, and children would perish at Auschwitz. As my wife and I can attest firsthand from this past year, one cannot walk the grounds of Auschwitz without being overcome with emotion and grief. One cannot see the piles of shoes, the the gas chambers, the crematoriums, the lone boxcar facing the gate to the camp, and those grainy photographs of men, women, and children being sent to their deaths without asking, how could they? Today we mourn with those who mourn and grieve with those who grieve. We remember the names and the faces and the promise of the 6 million Jews who were murdered in the Holocaust. Today, we also pay tribute to those who survived, who all these years have borne witness to that evil and have served mankind by their example. And today we honor and remember the memory of all the Allied forces, including more than 2 million American soldiers who left hearth and home, suffered appalling casualties, and freed a continent from the grip of tyranny. And finally, we pay tribute to the memory of those non-Jewish heroes who saved countless lives. Those the people of Israel call the righteous among the nations. In an age of indifference, they acted. In an age of fear, they showed courage. And their memory and their example should kindle anew the flame of our hearts to do the same in our time. We must be prepared to stand as they did against the wave of their times. We must be prepared to confront and expose the vile tide of anti-Semitism that is fueling hate and violence all across the world, and we must stand together. In that same spirit, we must also stand strong against the leading state purveyor of anti-Semitism, against the one government in the world that denies the Holocaust as a matter of state policy and threatens to wipe Israel off the map. The world must stand strong against the Islamic Republic of Iran. And finally, we must have the courage to recognize all the leaders and all the nations that are gathered here, that today we have the responsibility and the power to ensure that what we remember here today can never happen again. Mr. Prime Minister, as we honor and remember the 6 million Jewish martyrs of the Holocaust, the world can only marvel at the faith and resilience of the Jewish people, who just 3 years after walking in the valley of the shadow of death, rose up from the ashes to reclaim a Jewish future and rebuild the Jewish state. And I'm proud to say, as Vice President of the United States, that the American people have been with you every step of the way since 1948. And so we will remain. As President Trump declared in his historic visit to Jerusalem, bond between our two peoples is woven together in the fabric of our hearts. And so it shall always be. Today we remember not simply the liberation of Auschwitz, but also the triumph of freedom. A promise fulfilled, a people restored to their rightful place among the nations of the earth. And we remember the long night of that past, the survivors and the faces of those we lost, the heroes who stood against those evil times. And today we gather, nearly 50 nations strong, here in Jerusalem to say with one voice, never again. Through pogroms, persecutions, and expulsions in the ghettos, and finally even through the death camps, the Jewish people clung to an ancient promise that he would never leave you or forsake you, and that he would lead this people to inherit the land that he swore to your ancestors that he would give them. And so today, as we bear witness to the strength and the resilience and the faith of the Jewish people, so too we bear witness to God's faithfulness to the Jewish people. May the memory of the martyrs be enshrined in the hearts of all humanity for all time. May God bless the Jewish people, the state of Israel, the United States, and all the nations gathered here. And may he who creates peace in the heavens create peace for us and for all the world. Oseh shalom bimro ma, huye aseh shalom. Aleinu v'akol Yis Israel vayim ru. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Europe, on the eve of World War II. European Jews were integrated into society, contributing in every field, from art and science to industry and literature. But as post-World War I Germany descended into severe economic crisis and social upheaval, Hitler saw an opportunity to seize power by turning age-old European anti-Semitic prejudice into a radical anti-Jewish ideology and policy, blaming the Jews for all of Germany's woes, excluding them from public life, introducing racial laws, and infusing every layer of society with anti-Semitic hatred. As Hitler's power grew, unchecked and unrestrained, anti-Semitic rhetoric quickly evolved into legal restrictions, boycotts, popular violence, arrests, deportations, and ghettos where Jews starved.
בצריף הזה אני למדתי איך לרעוב
איך לסבול, איך לחיות בקור, איך לחיות ברעב אדיר.
It culminated in the final solution, the systematic extermination of around 6 million Jews, including 1.5 million children.
קודם כל, הם שלחו את הנשים לתאי הגזים. נורא היום היה לשמוע את הזעקות ואת הייסורים של האנשים ושל הילדים, וזעקו מה מטאטה, ואחרי כמה דקות נחנקו.
The goal was not only the annihilation of Jews, but also of Jewish history and culture, while committing the large-scale theft of Jewish property in order to fund the Nazis' heinous crimes. The Nazi war machine devoured country after country, and wherever Nazi boots tread, killing squads, labor, concentration and death camps followed. Over 1,100 ghettos and around 1,000 camps soon covered Europe.
Here we are, together, facing a group of mighty foes who seek our ruin. Here we are, together, defending all that to free men is dear.
The Allies realized that the only way to stop Hitler's armies was to join forces. The Red Army was the first to drive back the massive Nazi armies. Russian soldiers fought a powerful military, facing harsh weather conditions and major shortages of equipment and supplies. In November 1942, the Red Army begins to push the Nazis back from the gates of Stalingrad, freeing Eastern Europe from the Nazi grip, region after region. In July 1943, after freeing North Africa, American forces, together with British troops, joined the battle for Europe through Italy. On June 6, 1944, a large American force, together with British, Canadian, and Australian troops, lands on the beaches of Normandy. They advance through Western Europe, while to the south, French forces join the battles. On July 24, 1944, Soviet soldiers liberate the death camp Majdanek without yet fully understanding the dimensions of the Nazi genocide. From this point on, the Allies close in on Germany. Yet even as the Nazis retreated, they frantically worked to complete the final solution through death marches and mass exterminations of Jews.
אם אתה הולך לאושוויץ, אתה רואה, חודשיים שרפו, לא רק את כל משפחתי, 450,000 איש.
Tens of thousands would die in the death marches.
זה היה מרש בלי סוף. חשבנו שזה לעולם לא ייגמר. מי שרק נעמד לנוע 5 רגעים, ירו בה.
In 1945, the Allies, working in close cooperation, deal the final blows to the Nazi regime. The Red Army liberates Auschwitz-Birkenau, followed by the liberation of Buchenwald and Dachau by the American Army, and Bergen-Belsen by the British. The war in Europe ends with the fall of Berlin and the liberation of the last camp, Theresienstadt. As the liberators, including many Jewish soldiers, stepped through the gates of the camps, they crossed from earth into hell.
И мы открыли ворота. То, что мы там увидели, кровь, трупы и невероятно смрадный запах. В этих бараках выбегали, мы не евреи, сами они скелеты уже, и говорили: «Я не еврей».
My name is Gunnar Illingworth, and I live in Cheshire. I was present in Belsen camp doing guard duty over the SS men. The things in this camp are beyond describing. The things they have committed, well, nobody would think they were human at all.
Soviet, American, British, Canadian, and French soldiers that entered the camps found survivors so weak, sick, and malnourished that they could barely stand. The liberators discovered the overcrowded barracks, the rooms for medical experiments, the gas chambers, and the crematoria.
I could never forget that day, because when I walked through that gate, I saw in front of me what I call the walking dead. I saw human beings that had been beaten, had been starved, had been tortured. They'd been denied everything.
The power of unity overcame the strongest army the world has ever seen and saved humanity from the darkest evil the world had ever known.
After the fall of France to German occupation, the French underground kept the flame of resistance alive. Free French forces joined the Allies and fought to liberate France and other parts of Western Europe. It is my honor to invite His Excellency, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic, to deliver his remarks.
Monsieur le Président de l'État d'Israël, cher ami, merci. Monsieur le Premier ministre, Majesté, Altesse royale, Mesdames et Messieurs les chefs d'État et de gouvernement, Monsieur le Président du Conseil de Yad Vashem, Monsieur le Président de la Fondation du Forum mondial sur l'Holocauste, Messieurs les grands rabbins, chers survivants, Mesdames, Messieurs, chers amis. Les mots peuvent paraître peu de choses. Et vous voir tous ici, rassemblés, dit déjà tellement. Aurait-il pu l'imaginer aujourd'hui? Être unis pour nous souvenir, pour revivre et faire revivre. Et je salue ce soir avec émotion les survivants de l'Holocauste qui sont parmi nous, les fils et les filles de déportés, les justes, les témoins et les passeurs qui font vivre à Jérusalem la flamme éternelle de la mémoire. Merci à eux. Ils font chaque jour œuvre d'humanité. Il y a 75 ans, presque jour pour jour, le 27 janvier 1945, les soldats de la vaillante Armée rouge entraient à Auschwitz-Birkenau, dans la Pologne occupée par l'Allemagne nazie. Vous avez chacun à votre tour dit ce moment de sidération de l'humanité. Mais à ce moment-là, il n'y a eu nulle fête pour célébrer la libération des camps, nul cri de joie, pas même un cri de colère, seulement le silence et les larmes. Pour les peuples d'Europe épuisés par la guerre, ce ne fut, disait Simone Veil, pas même un événement. Pour les survivants, ce fut à peine un soulagement. Le pire avait déjà eu lieu. Pouvait-on vraiment d'ailleurs en revenir? Tant d'enfants ne retrouveraient jamais leurs parents. Tant de parents ne retrouveraient jamais leurs enfants. Ce qu'ils avaient vécu était à la fois indicible et pour beaucoup alors inaudible. L'innommable, l'impensable, l'impardonnable. Et pourtant, certains des rescapés ont vaincu le besoin d'oublier par la nécessité de transmettre, de nommer l'innommable pour faire entendre aux vivants le message des morts, raconter, comme le disait Elie Wiesel, raconter l'enfant qui, dans un abri souterrain, après une chasse à l'homme, demanda à sa mère d'une voix douce, très douce, « Est-ce que je peux pleurer déjà ?» Et le mendiant malade qui, dans un wagon scellé, se mit à chanter pour offrir son âme à ses compagnons. Et la petite fille qui, tenant la main de sa grand-mère, lui chuchota « N'aie pas peur, n'aie pas peur de mourir. La vie, tu sais, n'est pas si belle qu'on le dit. Je la quitte sans regret. » Elle avait 7 ans. Tout cela est vrai. Tout cela s'est passé. Alors oui, tout garder, tout transcrire, les mots, les gestes, les regards, les souffles, pour tout transmettre. Il fallait répondre à l'appel de Shimon Dubnov, qui disait à ses compagnons du ghetto de Riga, « Frères, inscrivez tout, notez tout, pour le raconter aux générations à venir. » Il fallait poursuivre le travail d'Isaac Chernson, qui, au cœur de la nuit, en 1943 à Grenoble, allait fonder le Centre de documentation juive contemporain. Il fallait continuer le travail de ceux qui, au cœur de l'élimination, rassemblèrent les preuves, documentèrent les crimes, constituant pièce par pièce les archives du martyre juif, prenant leur part de cette indispensable résistance. Il fallait mener l'indispensable combat pour sortir du silence, terrasser le déni, conjurer à jamais l'oubli dévastateur, insupportable, coupable. Il fallait l'énergie folle des prophètes de vérité que furent Serge et Beate Klarsfeld pour retrouver tous les noms, les visages, les vies et traquer les assassins. Tant et tant. Il fallait ces combats. Et c'est à tous ces combattants que je veux penser ce soir avec vous. Il y eut des lieux pour se souvenir, en France, dans tant de nos pays. Et tous regardent vers ce lieu, Jérusalem. Il y eut des mémoires et des histoires, et il fallait un nom. Et ce fut Yad Vashem. Ici sont conservées les traces du martyre et de l'héroïsme, la mémoire du mal radical et de cet esprit de résistance. C'est pour cela que l'Holocauste ne saurait être une histoire que nous pourrions manipuler ou utiliser ou revisiter. Non. Il y a la justice, il y a l'histoire avec ses preuves, et il y a la vie de nos nations. Ne les confondons pas, au risque de collectivement replonger dans le malheur. Nul n'a le droit de convoquer ces morts pour justifier quelque division ou quelque haine contemporaine. Car tous ceux qui sont tombés nous obligent à la vérité, à la mémoire, au dialogue, à l'amitié. Et quel plus beau symbole que celui de nous voir ici, tous rassemblés et unis, de faire œuvre utile pour lutter contre le déni comme le ressentiment ou les discours de vengeance. Quelle fierté pour moi de voir tant de pays d'Europe unis et de me retrouver aujourd'hui avec le président de la République fédérale d'Allemagne, cher Frank-Walter, et d'être à vos côtés aujourd'hui et de pouvoir vous entendre. L'Europe doit se tenir unie, ne jamais oublier, ne jamais se diviser. C'est aussi cela notre enseignement. Et la communauté internationale ne doit rien oublier non plus de ce que la barbarie est née de la négation de l'autre, du droit international et de la sécurité des nations ainsi bafouées. Et je vous rejoins, cher Vladimir, Monsieur le Président Poutine. Les 5 membres permanents du Conseil de sécurité des Nations Unies ont aujourd'hui une responsabilité historique. Et je partage votre volonté, 75 ans plus tard, de nous rassembler tous ensemble. Nous l'avons évoqué il y a quelques jours. Et je souhaite que nous puissions le faire, car nous sommes, de par cette histoire, et depuis la fin du deuxième conflit mondial, les garants d'un ordre international qui tient par le droit, la légalité et le respect de chacun. C'est bien cela qu'il nous faut partout défendre. Et oui, il nous faut cette unité de l'Europe, de la communauté internationale, car aujourd'hui, dans nos démocraties, l'antisémitisme ressurgit, violent, brutal. Il est là. Et avec lui, son cortège de haine et d'intolérance. Avec lui, le racisme. L'antisémitisme, je le dis ici avec clarté, n'est pas seulement le problème des Juifs, non. C'est d'abord le problème des autres. Car à chaque fois dans nos histoires, il a précédé l'effondrement, il a dit notre faiblesse, la faiblesse des démocraties, il a traduit l'incapacité à accepter le visage de l'autre. Il est toujours la première forme du rejet de l'autre. Et quand l'antisémitisme apparaît, tous les racismes prolifèrent, toutes les divisions se propagent, que nul ne pense en sortir gagnant. Alors oui, nous nous retrouvons là parce que, face à ce nouvel antisémitisme, il ne faut rien céder. Nous nous battons, vous en avez rappelé, cher Moshe, quelques-uns des termes dans chacun de nos pays, par des lois, des textes, par la force de la loi, par une action résolue, par la protection, dans le monde réel comme dans le monde virtuel, car les discours de haine sont partout. Et il nous faut éduquer, éduquer. Sans doute avons-nous raté quelque chose. Il nous faut être lucides pour que tant de nos enfants puissent aujourd'hui croire ce qu'ils croient, replonger dans l'abjection des pires préjugés et nourrir des haines que nous pensions avoir fait disparaître. Alors oui, le souvenir est aussi une promesse. Notre présence à Yad Vashem et la présence de nos jeunesses à Yad Vashem est une promesse, car en leur faisant revivre l'intolérable, en leur montrant l'exemple des justes, en leur faisant toucher du doigt la barbarie, nous leur faisons aussi comprendre que l'indifférence contemporaine à l'antisémitisme comme au racisme est notre poison. L'indifférence est déjà la complicité. Je crois très profondément que dans l'éducation, il y a notre antidote contre les haines contemporaines. Péguy, un des plus grands écrivains français, dénonçait ce qu'il appelait souvent les âmes habituées. Les âmes habituées dont parlait Péguy, ce sont celles qui laissent faire. nous ne laisserons pas faire. Car la promesse de la France est bien une promesse de souvenir et d'action. Zachor al tishkar. Souviens-toi. Souviens-toi, n'oublie jamais. Ce serment au cœur du judaïsme, la République française l'a fait sien. Elle a gravé la mémoire de la Shoah dans le marbre de ses lois. Elle l'enseigne dans ses écoles. Elle a inscrit les noms de ses enfants sur les murs. La France, par la voix du président Chirac, a regardé son histoire en face et reconnu la responsabilité irréparable de l'État français dans la déportation des Juifs. Elle sait aussi tout ce qu'elle doit à ceux qui, dans les villages de France, dans les églises, ont caché et protégé nos enfants, permettant de sauver 240 000 Juifs de France, 59 000 enfants, quand 11 000 furent déportés. Elle sait ce qu'elle doit à son esprit et ses forces de résistance. Alors ceux qui nient, relativisent ou s'habituent trouveront toujours face à eux la réponse implacable de notre nation. Nos survivants sont nos héros et ils sont devenus des passeurs. Ils ont inspiré des générations de passeurs. Et à leur tour, nos enfants auront à le devenir. Nos enfants deviendront ces témoins, intraitables à leur tour, car ils seront devenus, par ce lieu et par leur apprentissage, ceux qui savent que nous n'avons pas le droit d'oublier, que le récit des vies de nos disparus est devenu inarrêtable. Alors, à leur tour, nos enfants s'inspireront de l'exemple des justes. À leur tour, nos enfants auront à défendre la démocratie et l'humanisme, si fragiles et toujours à reconquérir. Puissions-nous, aujourd'hui, tous ensemble, inspirer un peu notre jeunesse afin qu'elle trouve ce courage et afin qu'à son tour, elle se tienne debout, fière de nos valeurs et qu'elle n'y cède rien. Et qu'à son tour, elle puisse dire, sachant tout ce qu'elle aura vu, vécu et compris, plus jamais ça, plus jamais ça.
Thank you, President Macron. While Germany sought to break British resolve through brutal bombings, the United Kingdom remained steadfast. British forces, together with those of other allies, drove the Nazis back through North Africa and Europe and liberated Bergen-Belsen and other German concentration camps. It is my honor to invite His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, to deliver his remarks.
Survivors of the Shoah, President Rivlin, Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is a particular honor, although one of the most solemn kind, to be present here today and on behalf of the United Kingdom to commemorate all those so tragically lost in the Shoah. To come to this sacred place Yad Vashem, a memorial and a name, is to be faced with that for which no name, no words, and no language can ever possibly do justice. The magnitude of the genocide that was visited upon the Jewish people defies comprehension and can make those of us who live in the shadow of those indescribable events feel hopelessly inadequate. The scale of the evil was so great, the impact so profound, that it threatens to obscure the countless individual human stories of tragedy, loss, and suffering of which it was comprised. That is why places like this and events like this are so vitally important. For many of you here, and for Jewish people across the globe, those stories are your stories. Whether you witnessed and somehow endured the appalling barbarity of the Holocaust personally, or whether it touched your lives through the experience of your loved ones, or through the loss of parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, or other family you were never able to know. But we must never forget that they are also our story, a story of incomprehensible inhumanity from which all humanity can and must learn. For that an evil cannot be described does not mean that it cannot be defeated. That it cannot be fully understood does not mean that it cannot be overcome. And so it is of particular significance that we should gather here in Israel, where so many of those who survived the Holocaust sought and found refuge and built a new future for themselves and this country. In the same way, it has been a singular privilege throughout my life to have met so many Holocaust survivors who were welcomed to the United Kingdom and who began new lives there, contributing immeasurably to the welfare of our country and the world in the years that followed. I have such inspiring memories of remarkable people, such as Anita Lasker-Wallfish, who somehow survived both Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen before moving to Britain after the war. There, as a wonderfully talented cellist, she co-founded the English Chamber Orchestra, of which I am proud to have been patron for the past 43 years. On her arm, she bears the number by which tyranny had sought to make her less than human. Yet through her music, she reminds us of the greatest beauty of which we are capable. Over the years, she has shared her story bravely and powerfully, determined that some good might come from the unspeakable evil she endured and overcame. From the horror, she brought harmony, healing, and hope. Just as each life lost in the Shoah stands for all the millions who died, each inspirational story such as that of Anita Lasker-Wallfish stands for the strength of spirit, the unparalleled courage, the determined defiance of the very best of humanity when confronted with the very worst. For my own part, I have long drawn inspiration from the selfless actions of my dear grandmother, Princess Alice of Greece, who in 1943 in Nazi-occupied Athens saved a Jewish family by taking them into her home and hiding them. My grandmother, who is buried on the Mount of Olives, has a tree planted in her name here at Yad Vashem and is counted as one of the righteous among the nations. Chasidei Umot Olam, a fact which gives me and my family immense pride. Ladies and gentlemen, almost a lifetime has passed since the horror of the Holocaust unfolded on the European continent, and those who bore witness to it are sadly ever fewer. We must, therefore, commit ourselves to ensuring that their stories live on, to be known and understood by each successive generation. Anita Lasker-Wallfish has said, "There is a risk that the Holocaust will be placed under a glass bubble, just like the Napoleonic Wars or the 30 Years' War. But if we don't make the connection between memories of past atrocities and the present, there isn't any point to it." She is, it seems to me, absolutely right. The Holocaust must never be allowed to become simply a fact of history. We must never cease to be appalled nor moved by the testimony of those who lived through it. Their experience must always educate and guide and warn us. The lessons of the Holocaust are searingly relevant to this day. 75 years after the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau, hatred and intolerance still lurk in the human heart, still tell new lies, adopt new disguises, and still seek new victims. All too often, language is used which turns disagreement into dehumanization. Words are used as badges of shame to mark others as enemies, to brand those who are different as somehow deviant. All too often, virtue seems to be sought through verbal violence. All too often, real violence ensues, and acts of unspeakable cruelty are still perpetrated around the world against people for reasons of their religion, their race, or their beliefs. Knowing as we do the darkness to which such behavior leads, we must be vigilant in discerning these ever-changing threats. We must be fearless in confronting falsehoods and resolute in resisting words and acts of violence. We must never rest in seeking to create mutual understanding and respect. We must tend the earth of our societies so that the seeds of division cannot take root and grow. And we must never forget that every human being is B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. And even a single human life is Ke'olam Malay, like an entire universe. The Holocaust was an appalling Jewish tragedy, but it was also a universal human tragedy, and one which we compound if we do not heed its lessons. On this day, in this place, and in memory of the millions who perished in the Shoah, let us recommit ourselves to tolerance and respect, and to ensuring that those who lived through this darkness will forever, as in the words of the prophet Isaiah, be a light unto the nations to guide the generations that follow.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness. We remember here the 1.5 million Jewish soldiers who fought in the Allied armies. Nearly 200,000 of these soldiers were killed in combat. Victor Ullmann was a gifted Austrian Jewish composer, conductor, and pianist who was deported to the Theresienstadt ghetto in September 1942. While imprisoned under horrific conditions, Ullmann continued to compose music and formed an orchestra. He wrote, "By no means did we sit weeping on the banks of the waters of Babylon. Our endeavor with respect to the arts was commensurate with our will to live." Victor Ullmann was murdered in the gas chambers of Auschwitz-Birkenau on October 18, 1944. But his spirit lives on through his music. We will now hear the last movement from Ullmann's 7th Piano Sonata, written while he was incarcerated in Theresienstadt. Nazi Germany, which launched World War II, also initiated and perpetrated the Holocaust. After 5.5 years of bloodshed and destruction, Germany was defeated. Since then, Germany has undergone a complex process of coming to terms with its actions before and during the war, and with its special historic responsibilities. German leaders have expressed their nation's commitment to ensuring that the legacy of the Shoah remains forever a crucial aspect of Germany's identity. It is my honor to invite His Excellency, Mr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, President of the Federal Republic of Germany, to deliver his remarks.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu Melech Haolam, שהחלרנו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. זו מתנה ומעשה של חסד לאפשר לשאת בפניכם דברים כאן ביד ושם ביום זה. כבוד הנשיא ריבלין, משה קנטור הנכבד, רוב תודות על הזמנתכם. Heads of state and government, excellencies, guests from all over the world, and most of all, esteemed witnesses and survivors of the Shoah. Here at Yad Vashem burns the eternal flame in remembrance of the victims of the Shoah. This place reminds us of their suffering, the suffering of millions, and it reminds us of their lives, each individual life. This place remembers Samuel Titelmann, a keen swimmer who won competitions for Maccabi Warsaw, and his little sister Riga, who helped her mother prepare the family meal for Thabas. This place remembers Ida Goldish and her 3-year-old son, Willy. In October, they were deported from Chisinau ghetto, and in January, in the bitter cold, Ida wrote her last letter to her parents. I quote, "I regret from the very depths of my soul that on departing, I did not realize the importance of the moment, that I did not hug you tightly, never releasing you from my arms. Germans deported them. Germans burned numbers on their forearms. Germans tried to dehumanize them, to reduce them to numbers, to erase all memory of them in the extermination camps. They did not succeed. Samuel and Riga, Ida and Willy were human beings, and as human beings, they live on in our memory. Yad Vashem gives them, as it says in the book of Isaiah, a monument and a name. I too stand before this monument as a human being and as a German. I stand before their monument, I read their names, I hear their stories, and I bow in deepest sorrow. Samuel and Riga, Ida and Willy were human beings. And this also must be said here, the perpetrators were human beings, they were Germans, those who murdered, those who planned and helped in the murdering, and the many who silently towed the line, they were Germans. The industrial mass murder of 6 million Jews, the worst crime in the history of humanity, it was committed by my countrymen. The terrible war, which cost far more than 50 million lives, is originated from my country. 75 years later, after the liberation of Auschwitz, I stand before you all as President of Germany, and I stand here laden with the heavy historical burden of guilt. Yet, at the same time, my heart is filled with gratitude. Gratitude for the hands of the survivors stretched out to us. Gratitude for the new trust given to us by people in Israel and across the world. Gratitude for Jewish life is flourishing again in Germany. My soul is moved by this spirit of reconciliation, a spirit which opened up a new and peaceful path for Germany and Israel, for Germany, Europe, and the countries of the world. The eternal flame at Yad Vashem does not go out. Germany's responsibility does not expire. We want to live up to our responsibility. By this, dear friends, you should measure us. I stand before you grateful for this miracle of reconciliation, and I wish I could say that our remembrance has made us immune to evil. Yes, we Germans remember, but sometimes it seems as though we understand the past better than the present. The spirits of evil are emerging in a new guise, presenting their anti-Semitic, racist, authoritarian thinking as an answer for the future, a new solution to the problems of our age. And I wish I could say that we Germans have learned from history once and for all. But I cannot say that when hatred is spreading. I cannot say that when Jewish children are spat on in the schoolyard. I cannot say that when crude anti-Semitism is cloaked in supposed criticism of Israeli policy. And I cannot say that, ladies and gentlemen, when only a thick wooden door prevents a right-wing terrorist from causing a massacre, a bloodbath in a synagogue in the city of Halle on Yom Kippur. Of course, our age is a different age. The words are not the same. The perpetrators are not the same. But it is the same evil. And there remains only one answer. Never again, nie wieder. That is why there cannot be an end to remembrance. This responsibility was woven into the very fabric of the Federal Republic of Germany from day one. But it tests us here and now. This Germany will only live up to itself if it lives up to its historical responsibility. We fight anti-Semitism. We resist to the poison that is nationalism. We protect Jewish life. We stand with Israel. And here in Yad Vashem, I renew this promise before the eyes of the world. And I know that we are not alone. Today we join together to say no to anti-Semitism, no to hatred. From the horror of Auschwitz, the world learned lessons once before. The nations of the world built an order of peace founded upon human rights and international law. We Germans are committed to this order, and we want to defend it with all of you, because this we know: peace can be destroyed and people can be corrupted. Esteemed heads of state and government, I'm grateful that together we make this commitment today: a world that remembers the Holocaust, a world without genocide. Who knows? Who knows if we will ever hear again the magical sound of life? Who knows if we can weave ourselves into eternity? Who knows? Salman Gradowski wrote these lines in Auschwitz and buried them in a tin can under the crematorium. Here at Yad Vashem, they are woven into eternity. Salman Gradowski, Samuel and Riga Tittelmann, Ida and Willy Goldisch, and so many others. They were all murdered. Their lives were lost to unfettered hatred, but our remembrance of them will defeat the abyss, and our action will defeat hatred. Ladies and gentlemen, by this I stand, for this I hope. Baruch atah Adonai, shechayanu bekimanu vehigyanu lazman hazeh.
Thank you, President Steinmeier. Meaningful Holocaust remembrance is rooted in authentic testimony and freely researched facts presented accurately. The legacy of the Holocaust is conveyed in museums, educational centers, and authentic historical sites in Europe and around the world. We acknowledge recent governmental initiatives such as that of the Ukrainian government in Babi Yar, the Polish government in Sobibor, and the British government in London. They represent the ongoing responsibility to document, teach, and commemorate in a relevant manner. During the Holocaust, 6 million Jews were murdered. During the Second World War, millions more from other communities, cultures, and faiths were killed. Mourning and commemoration are often expressed by the universal language of music. We will now hear excerpts from requiems by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Carl Jenkins, and Camille Saint-Saëns. The orchestra will be joined by choirs from France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States that have come together to represent the peace and harmony that we all strive for.
Sing us,
In addition to the Allied armies, during the war, partisan, underground, and other forces fought bravely against the Nazis and their collaborators. During the Holocaust, there was a small minority who mustered extraordinary courage to uphold human values. These were the righteous among the nations, non-Jews who took great risks to rescue Jews during the Holocaust. These courageous persons, over 27,000 recognized already, came from different nations, religions, and walks of life. At the same time, countless numbers of Jews compounded their already tremendous risks during the Holocaust to save their fellow Jews under truly impossible circumstances. We are now about to hear from one of the many thousands of Jews who were rescued during the Shoah by their fellow Jews and by righteous non-Jews. Rabbi Israel Meir Lau, former chief rabbi of Israel, was born in 1937 in Poland. When liberated in 1945 from the Buchenwald concentration camp, he was one of its youngest survivors. Rabbi Lau is chairman of the Yad Vashem Council and a prominent spokesman for the now dwindling community of Holocaust survivors. I am honored to invite Rabbi Lau to deliver his remarks.
President Rivlin, Prime Minister Netanyahu, President of the World Holocaust Forum, Dr. Cantor, leaders of the world, you are here in gathered, leaders of the world, everyone in his country. We have met last night, and I see you today, and I thank you for your kind and warm and touching words you gave us in your speeches, your brotherhood, your friendship, your love, and your commitment for the future. We will never forget. We appreciate it very, very much and very, very deep. Survivors, brothers and sisters, survivors, people of Israel, leaders, Morai v'Rabotai, ladies and gentlemen. 25 years ago, it was 50 years to the liberation of Buchenwald concentration camp, liberated by the American Army on April 11, 1945. I was invited to give a speech for the survivors who survived the camp and survived 50 years later. I came with my brother, late brother Naftali, my hero who saved my life. We came from Israel to Germany. Weimar is the city. Buchenwald is a suburb of Weimar. And I started my words with this comment. This is my second visit to Buchenwald. The third one was 50.5 years earlier. And what is the change? When I came here for the first time, I was a child of 7.5 years. No father anymore, no mother anymore, but a brother. I came here, I had no name. I was just a number. Häftling Nummer 117030. Prisoner 117030. Prisoner. 7.5 years. What a crime did I do till then to be a prisoner? No name. No identity almost. 50 years later, I come from my old, new homeland, the state of Israel. I have a name. My name is Israel Meir Lau. I am not a prisoner anymore. I am the chief rabbi of Israel today. What a change. With such a change from the first visit to the second one, you would say, okay, let's forget it. Let's open a new page, a new chapter. Let's forgive, let's forget. So I came especially to tell you, I cannot forgive because I'm not authorized to forgive. My parents, before they went away, before they were taken away, they didn't ask me to forgive. They asked me to continue the chain, that the Jewish chain will be unbroken, forever. That's what they said. I do remember my mother, I was already 7.5 almost. Gedenk, remember that you are a Jew. Wherever you go, remember you are a part of a rabbinic chain. Your father, I don't know what happened to him. 2 years that I didn't hear from him. Your father was the 37th generation of a rabbinic dynasty. You are the 38th. Continue the chain. Go on. These were the last words. She didn't speak about forgiveness. What else do you ask me? To forget. Forget? How can I forget? How can I forget? The beatings, the freezings, the starvation. I do remember always also the stars in the very dark tunnel we went through 5.5 years. The righteous among the nations. For some of them, I owe my life. I do remember. But I do remember the sufferings. I do remember the tortures. I do remember the victims. And I can never forget. This is the reason I came from Israel to tell you. Now I want to tell you, dear friends here in Yad Vashem, we appreciate very much your arrival. We appreciate very much your promise to fight anti-Semitism and racism. This is a promise. This is an obligation. This is a duty of mankind at all. And this we will never forget what you have said here today. When we appreciate every word you said to us, and we believe you, that you said it from the bottom of your heart. We do believe. We do believe that this evening here in Yad Vashem in Jerusalem can be a bridge for mankind at all, not only around the Holocaust, but around survival of the world of mankind. What do I mean? If you open the first book of the Bible, the book of Genesis, and you meet there what? The story of Noah's ark. There was a flood, and Noah was said by the Lord Almighty, built an ark, and all the animals and your family get into the ark, you will be saved. You will survive it, the flood. 150 days they were in the ark. Who was there? Snakes, leopards, tigers, lions, bears, and also animals like cows and donkeys and hens and doves. One was hurt by the other, 150 days, under the same roof. No one was bitten, no one was hidden, no one was killing, no one was slaughtering, no one eats the other. 150 days. Snakes and children, grandchildren of Noah, no one was hurt. Why? They behaved very nice because they knew that they must behave very nice because there is a common enemy outside of the ark, the flood. And if they will not behave nicely, Noah will send them out of the ark and they are liquidated. They will disappear. So they understood we must live in friendship because we have a common hatred, a common enemy. People, leaders of the world, our guest leaders, don't we have today common enemies? Don't we have a reason to understand what the snake understood in the ark of Noah? Can't we understand that there are common enemies? All kinds of diseases, the cancer, the AIDS, whatever, heart, brain, starvation, ignorance, crime, nuclear weapon, common enemies. So let's behave like friends. Let's understand at least what the animals understood. 150 days. They didn't hurt. Let's understand, and this can come here. It can come from Yad Vashem. It can come from Jerusalem, as the prophet Isaiah and the prophet Micah said the same words, Ki mitzion teitzeh Torah, udvar Hashem mirushalayim. The voice of the Lord Almighty comes and be spread all over the world. It came from Jerusalem, a city of 4,000 years history. We can never forget. We have to forgive to brothers, and we have to behave like friends and brothers. That's our duty, and this is the conclusion of seeing you. Leaders of the world. The world is in your arms, in your hands, in one way, one sentence, one signature. You can decide upon millions of people. So decide for love and friendship and peace forever. Thank you.
Thank you. Toda rabba, Rabbi Lau. I am honored to invite Mr. Avner Shalev, Chairman of the Yad Vashem Directorate, to deliver the concluding message of this event.
I'm writing this letter before my death, although I don't know the exact day my relatives and I will be killed just because we are Jews. How I yearn to live and reach some good in life, but everything is lost. Farewell. These were the last words of Fania Barbakov before she was murdered in the Droya ghetto in 1942. The Holocaust was the most deadly manifestation of anti-Semitism. It was the outcome of an extreme racist ideology adopted by a modern state to blame one group for all ills of the others. Nazi anti-Semitism was used to legitimize unprecedented cruelty, the systematic murder of millions of innocent people. Even today, the Holocaust seems almost impossible to grasp, but we must do just that, because while the Nazi plan was aimed against the Jews, anti-Semitic atrocities never end with the Jews. The Holocaust was a calamity for the Jewish people and a catastrophe for all people. The Shoah proved that modernity does not ensure morality. Values do not necessarily progress along with technology. 75 years after liberation, Holocaust remembrance is more relevant than ever. It serves as a lighthouse warning us of the danger of extreme racist ideologies. Yad Vashem, the World Holocaust Remembrance Center, is the gatekeeper of Holocaust memory. It is here in Jerusalem that the voices and legacy of the Shoah victims and survivors are gathered, preserved, and made accessible for all humanity. Memory must be translated into action. Anti-Semitism and all other forms of racism will never be diminished through silence. Tackling anti-Semitism today requires a range of policies and tools, locally, nationally, and internationally. The international forums, such as our here today, fortify a united front against any expressions of racism anywhere in the world. Our mutual duty is to educate the upcoming generations. It is our duty to ensure that everyone understands what constitutes anti-Semitism and remembers where it had led us in the past. As an educator, I realized early on that Yad Vashem must create the International School for Holocaust Studies. Professionals from around the world learn accurate facts about the Shoah and how to communicate the meanings to their communities, peers, and students. Our comprehensive research, numerous exhibitions, robust online presence are additional means to disseminate our knowledge to the global audience. We are all here today because we share a deep concern about what is happening around the world. Your presence gives us hope. Hope of overcoming Holocaust denial and distortion. Hope of securing individual rights and human dignity for all societies. Hope that the world that we entrust to our children will be kinder and more tolerant than the one we inherited from our own parents. Despite the horrors that they witnessed and endured, Holocaust survivors, such as our dear friend Rabbi Lau, did not lose faith in humanity. They chose life and contributed to every society they joined. In 2002, survivors' representatives signed a declaration here at Yad Vashem. To the next generations, they wrote, we pass on a Jewish message that memory leads to moral obligation, as has been said by many other leaders. Memory must be the basis of action and a source of strength. for building a better world. Thank you all for coming and sharing your ideas with us. You should be blessed.
Thank you, Mr. Shalev.
"75 years after the fall of Nazi Germany, anti-Semitism is on the rise, reaching levels not seen since the Holocaust.
Stand back to the office!
Today, our societies face not just latent anti-Semitism, but a worldwide crisis of anti-Semitic hate. Once again, Jewish shops are being smashed and Jewish graves desecrated. Once again, Jews are being attacked on the street. Once again, this hate is moving in more and more places. From the margins to the mainstream, from words to extreme violence.
Germany is in shock after an anti-Semitic attack on a synagogue.
Eh bien, les forces de police en France lançaient l'assaut sur l'hypercachère. Ce sont ces images.
11 people died after a gunman opened fire during morning service.
Once again, Jews are being murdered simply for being Jews. In 2018 alone, there were 387 violent anti-Semitic incidents, over 100 violent attacks in the US, 68 in the UK, 35 in Germany, a 74% increase in all types of anti-Semitic attacks in France, a 60% increase in Italy, Australia 59%, South Africa 25%. In the face of this crisis, no country is immune. This age-old prejudice is being led by a new triangle of hate, a convergence of the far right, far left, and radical Islamism. Today, extremists can spread their propaganda to millions at the touch of a button. And if they come to power, they may have access to the deadliest weapons known to humanity. Contemporary anti-Semitism finds expression in many forms: anti-Jewish conspiracy theories, Holocaust denial, and the glorification of the Nazis and their collaborators. At times, anti-Semitism is disguised as anti-Zionism. Hatred of Jews can manifest itself in hatred of the Jewish state. Anti-Semitic motifs are used to blame Israel for all the world's ills. And while Jews are the first victims, the ultimate target of this triangle of hate is the very societies in which they live.
They're shooting.
ISIS has claimed responsibility.
Incitement and hate are a means for extremists to attack the foundations of democracies, destabilize governments, and increase their power.
Anti-Semitism is not a problem for the Jewish community alone. It is a menace to democratic values, to social peace and stability. Not only are there vile views coming into the mainstream, but the mainstream is unfortunately sometimes coming to them.
The recent wave of anti-Semitism has already taken too many innocent lives. As the Nazis rose to power, the world did not wake up in time. The world ignored the spread of anti-Jewish propaganda and hate. When the gates of the camps swung open, the world came face to face with the consequences of hatred. Never again is now. Now is the time to fight back. This is a fight not only for the safety of Jewish communities, but for the survival of our nations. The worldwide crisis of anti-Semitism threatens us all, and we must all fight it together.
The distinguished heads of delegations present here today, as well as leaders of additional countries invited to this forum but unable to attend, have made a memorable contribution to Holocaust remembrance and to the fight against anti-Semitism. Each of them has submitted a personal message attesting to their own commitment and that of their nations to remembering the Holocaust and fighting anti-Semitism. These messages have been compiled in a special commemorative volume, which we are pleased to inaugurate and distribute to all the participants here today. The book reflects our shared commitment to effectively transmit the legacy of the Shoah to future generations. We will now conduct a memorial ceremony in memory of those who perished. I am honored to invite Mr. Benny Hendel to lead the ceremony. Thank you, and shalom.
Thank you, Tamar. We have gathered here in the Warsaw Ghetto Square at Yad Vashem on the Mount of Remembrance, Jerusalem, to commemorate the 6 million Jews murdered by the Nazis and their collaborators. I'm honored to invite Holocaust survivors Ms. Rose Moskowitz and Ms. Colette Avital, chairperson of the Central Organization of Holocaust Survivors in Israel, to light the memorial torch. Identification. As we kindle the memorial torch, we unite with the blessed memory of 6 million of our people who died a martyr's death at the hands of the German Nazis and their collaborators, of the Jewish communities destroyed in a wicked attempt to eradicate the name and culture of Israel. We remember with veneration the fortitude of the fighters who kindled the sublime flame of rebellion among the besieged masses of the ghettos, the heroic and persistent struggle of the masses of the House of Israel on the threshold of destruction for their human dignity and their Jewish heritage, the righteous among the nations who risked their lives to save Jews from persecution and death. We will now invite the heads of delegations to lay memorial wreaths at the foot of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising Monument. The wreaths will be presented to the heads of delegations by members of the Jerusalem Youth Council. The Honorable Reuven Ruvi Rivlin, President of the State of Israel. The Honorable Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of the State of Israel. His Majesty King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands, His Majesty King Philippe, the King of the Belgians, His Majesty King Felipe VI of Spain, His Royal Highness Henri, Grand Duke of Luxembourg, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, the United Kingdom, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Håkon Magnus of Norway, His Excellency Mr. Ilir Meta, President of the Republic of Albania, His Excellency Mr. Alberto Fernandez, President of the Argentine Republic, His Excellency Mr. Armen Sarkisyan, President of the Republic of Armenia, His Excellency General the Honorable David Hurley, AC, DSC, FTSE Governor General of the Commonwealth of Australia. His Excellency Professor Dr. Alexander van der Bellen, President of the Federal Republic of Austria. His Excellency Mr. Željko Komšić, Chairman of the Presidency of Bosnia and Herzegovina. His Excellency Mr. Rumen Radev, President of the Republic of Bulgaria. Her Excellency, the Right Honorable Julie Payette, Governor General of Canada. Her Excellency, Mrs. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović, President of the Republic of Croatia. His Excellency Mr. Nikos Anastasiades, President of the Republic of Cyprus. His Excellency Mr. Andrej Babiš, Prime Minister of the Czech Republic. Her Excellency Ms. Mette Frederiksen, Prime Minister of Denmark. Reeds of the European Union, His Excellency Mr. Charles Michel, President of the European Council, Her Excellency Ms. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, His Excellency Mr. David Sassoli, President of the European Parliament. His Excellency Mr. Sauli Niinistö, President of the Republic of Finland. His Excellency Monsieur Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic. Her Excellency Mrs. Salome Zurabishvili, President of Georgia. His Excellency Dr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, President of the Federal Republic of Germany. His Excellency Mr. Prokopios Pavlopoulos, President of the Hellenic Republic. His Excellency Mr. János Áder, President of Hungary. His Excellency Mr. Guðni Jóhannesson, President of the Republic of Iceland. His Excellency Mr. Sergio Mattarella, President of the Republic of Italy. His Excellency Mr. Igor Dodon, President of the Republic of Moldova. His Excellency Mr. Serge Tel, Minister of State of the Principality of Monaco. His Excellency Mr. Milo Djukanovic, President of Montenegro. His Excellency Professor Dr. Stevo Pendarovsky, President of the Republic of North Macedonia. His Excellency Mr. Marcelo Rebelo de Souza, President of the Portuguese Republic. His Excellency Mr. Klaus Iohannis, President of Romania. His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, President of the Russian Federation. His Excellency Mr. Aleksandar Vucic, President of the Republic of Serbia. Her Excellency Ms. Zuzana Chaputova, President of the Slovak Republic. His Excellency Mr. Borut Pahor, President of the Republic of Slovenia. His Excellency Mr. Stefan Löfven, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Sweden. His Excellency Mr. David Friedman, Ambassador of the United States to the State of Israel for Vice President Mike Pence. His Excellency Mr. Oktay Asadov, Chairman of the Milli Mejlis, National Assembly of the Republic of Azerbaijan. His Excellency Mr. Vladimir Andreychenko, Chairman of the House of Representatives, National Assembly of the Republic of Belarus. Her Excellency Ms. Inara Murnece, Speaker of the Parliament of the Republic of Latvia. His Excellency Mr. Viktoras Pranckietis, Speaker of the Parliament of the Republic of Lithuania. The Honorable Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House of Representatives of the United States of America. His Eminence Cardinal Kurt Koch, President of the Holy See's Commission for Religious Relations with the Jews. The Honorable Moshe Leon, Mayor of the City of Jerusalem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Cantor Shai Abramson will now recite El Maleh Rachamim, a prayer for the souls of the martyrs. Please rise.
El Maleh Rachamim shochen b'meromim Dayan alemanot v'avi yetomim hametzeh menucha nechona על כנפי השכינה במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מהירים ומזהירים לנשמות 6 מיליונים אחינו ואחיותינו רבבות רבבות אלפי ישראל אנשים נשים וטף שנהרגו שנשחטו שנשרפו שנחנקו שנקברו חיים ושומטו בכל מיני מיתות משונות ואכזריות בידי הגרמנים הנאצים ויוזריהם ושהלכו לעולמם Hashem. Avu she'anu mitpalelim leilui nishemotehem. Lachen barachamim yastirem beseter knafav leolamim veyitzor b'tzor ha'chaim et nishemotehem began Eden temenuchatam Adonai unachalatam veyanuchu veshalom al mishkevotam venomar amen.
Mr. Naftali Deutsch, Holocaust survivor, will now recite Kaddish, the mourner's prayer.
יתגדל, יתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דיברה קורסי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי היה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנצה ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמע דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דם ירם בימה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה משמיים וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ונאמר אמן.
You may be seated. Not for long. Soon we will hold a moment of silence in memory of the 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust and other victims of Nazi Germany, it is my honor to call on stage Cardinal Kurt Koch, Mr. Serge Tel, Minister of State Monaco, Ms. Inara Murniece, Speaker Latvia, Mr. Viktoras Panksietis, Speaker Belarus, Mr. Oktay Asadov, Chair National Assembly Azerbaijan, Ms. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker United States, Ms. Mette Frederiksen, Prime Minister Denmark, Mr. Andrej Babiš, Prime Minister of the Czech Republic. Please come forward. Governor General David Hurley, Australia. Governor General Julie Payette, Canada. Mr. Ilir Meta, President, Albania. Mr. Alberto Fernandez, President, Argentina. Mr. Armen Sarkisyan, President, Armenia. Dr. Alexander van der Bellen, President, Austria. Mr. Zeljko Komšić, Chairman of Presidency, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Mr. Rumen Radev, President of Bulgaria. Mrs. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović, President of Croatia. Mr. David Sassoli, President of the European Parliament. Mr. Charles Michel, President of the European Council. Ms. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission. Mr. Nikos Anastasiades, President of Cyprus, Mr. Sauli Niinistö, President of Finland, Mrs. Salome Zurabishvili, President of Georgia, Mr. Prokopios Pavlopoulos, President of the Hellenic Republic, Mr. Ader János, President of Hungary, Mr. Guðni Jóhannsson, President of Iceland, Mr. Igor Dodon, President of Moldova, Mr. Milo Djukanovic, President of Montenegro, Professor Dr. Stevo Pendarovski, President of North Macedonia, Mr. Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, President of the Portuguese Republic, Mr. Klaus Ioannis, President of Romania, His Majesty King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands, Mr. Alexander Vucic, President of Serbia, Ms. Zuzana Čaputova, President of the Slovak Republic, Mr. Borut Pahor, President of Slovenia, Mr. Stefan Löfven, Prime Minister of Sweden, His Majesty King of the Belgians, His Majesty King Felipe VI of Spain, His Royal Highness Henri of Luxembourg, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Haakon Magnus of Norway. Mr. Sergio Mattarella, Dr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier, President of Germany, Mr. Reuven Rivlin, our own President, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, our Prime Minister, Rabbi Yisrael Meir Lau, Dr. Moshe Kantor, Mr. Avner Shalev. Ladies and gentlemen, would you kindly rise for the moment of silence? Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem of the State of Israel, Hatikva. You may be seated. This concludes our program. We thank you all for participating. Please remain seated until the dignitaries have exited. Thank you.